Okay, first video of the day, day number 1. I've dropped down from there. We can see some open joints which are probably visible from the ground in the string course and below the string course. And I suspect we have more over here. And windows looking like this. That sounds hollow when it moves slightly. Sounds hollow. I feel like it's more of a defrass than a repair, because I think if you're going to try to mortar repair it, you're just adding extra weight. If you're going to pin it, it's probably going to fall to pieces because the stone feels very, very soft and kind of sandy. So we're getting closer to these. I think that's going to be the next challenge. Got one right here, in fact, on tip buttress. So it wiggles. That's going to come off, I think. Yeah, so Orion's right next to this massive shard here. There's such a lot of material there, such a lot of weight in the flakes which are hanging off. It simply isn't repairable. Touch that top piece again and just sort of to show how much it wiggles. Yeah, it's going to come off. Okay, decision made. Okay, here we are on the west face. Already started laying in some kind of edging repairs. Here there was a flake of facing stone which was too weak to preserve, so that's now below us. This is the kind of thing we're finding. Things like this. I've just started to put some mortar in on that. And down by my foot here, more flakes. Lots and lots of flakes down there. What have we got over here? Here. Over where Orion is working.
More flakes. Got a few repairs in already. Over here.
Yeah. And down below, I spotted this on my ascent. We've got some rusting iron at the base of the mullion, central mullion to the west window. Can't see anything on this window. But loose flakes on the mullion shaft. Window tracery looks a lot better than the tracery on the south side. So still on the west face. Second string course down from the top. I found this, which had plants growing around it, and this shard was actually mortared in, not pinned. So I removed it, cleaned up the mortar here, and found that there is also this fracture behind it. So it's kind of a classic case of this needs pinning. Don't think I'm going to reset that in this position in mortar. I'm going to carry it down and be stored in the base of the tower or somewhere and refixed with pins at a later date, hopefully. Okay, on previous inspection from below, this window looked okay, but there is this sort of thing going on. Friable stonework, and also if we look down at the mullion, it looks like the left hand side is detached, and also there's this blistering on the panel, center of the left hand side panel. Okay, so here we are on the north face, carrying out mortar works. Bit of repointing. No, that's a stone, isn't it? Or is that a joint?
It's a stone.
It's a stone. And there's an open joint there. There's also a big open joint on the string course just behind Orion. Can't see it, but it's there. That one looks a little bit like this one, which is on this string course on the turret. So here, big open joint. Another one here, a big kind of scallop missing from that stone, which I'll do a mortar repair to. Some more holes here in the corner and there. Some loose pointing there. A little look at your pinnacle there. Something going on there. And then as we look down and around, we've got the window with the usual kind of weathering striations on the face bedded stone. And then looking down the mullion, looks all right. Generally okay. There's a piece of stone to the left reveal of the window, which looks like it might be loose. So I'll ask Orion to have a look at that on his drop. We've got some more open joints above the window, just there. I think there's more open joints on the string course below as well. There. And also down lower on the turret, the lowest string course there. And some sort of weathering stone of the string course itself, which looks like might eventually lead to the loss of the nosing of the string course altogether in years to come. Another open joint here on the just outside the parapet centre. These iron cramps are situated underneath the parapet, all along there. Another one there with some cracks in the joint, so they could well be sort of expanding inside the joint and pushing that joint open. Also below there's this joint here, and I don't know why, but this stone here sort of bellies out on the underside as if it's somehow being pushed out. I don't really understand what's caused that. I'll give you a look down the buttress as well, which in a cursory inspection seems okay, but Orion will be there looking at it more closely soon. So we've discovered that this stone here just above the window, upper window on the north face, is wibbling. I don't know if that comes out. Yeah, you can see that moving then. We're going to point around it because you can see that there's an open joint on the left at the top and also on the right hand side of it. So that will help to kind of stabilize it. We think it's like a loose flake, but the floor is quite deep behind. That's been pointed in, and some stuff on the outside of the parapet. Quite difficult to see because everything's red. And there's more on Orion's job, which I'm obviously not going to be able to document from this side of the building. Coming over to this side, around the turret. So we've got a bit of pointing in there and underneath that stone, the stone that bellies out. Then there's more there. String course, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them deep holes pointed up, and a little bit on the side, and more up above there, and there, and there. A little stone repair in here, that was quite a deep pocket. Further down, the buttress, got bits of pointing that have gone in. Well, this is this whole piece here is like a loose flake, which had a big deep hollow here, which I've obviously mortared in. Tiny bit of mortar there, and some other bits just here. Found a really interesting stone here on the turret, just above this string course, with kind of a conglomerate of pebbles. Really interesting. There's several examples of this but the pieces that are going to fall off are quite small, and the length of time we're going to be spending doing the mortar repairs around those edges doesn't warrant the time that we're here for. We're focusing on the bigger issues. Another one up here. Lots of examples of that, but really we're focusing on things that are heavy, that pose a health and safety risk to the general public. For example, here there was a large area of flakes which were loose, so we removed them, I removed them, and just buttered along the edge with some mortar to protect the rest of it. Same here, and the same happened here. Another observation on the north face, we found wherever you get moss on the ledges, the underlying stone tends to be quite powdery. Perhaps it loses its hard callus, which this exposed stone has developed. More repointing on the lower string course of the stairwell turret. Here, in here, elsewhere, here. In this area here, where this gable meets the tower, really deep holes around this coping stone. So I pointed in and around that. Just thought I'd mention debris here in the valley between the rooftops of the nave. Back on the south face of the church, I'm just here to have a look at the bat roost, which is directly in front of me here. As you can see, the bats have left the roost. We were discussing whether or not it would be possible to support this, perhaps with cramps from the underside. Although it feels solid to the touch, you do have a number of fractures. So if we were to do something like that, you would need to check it every few years for maintenance. Below my feet here, we have another one of these examples where the string course has this kind of horizontal weakness going through it in that direction. So I get the feeling that this here needs to be pinned. I've just given this section of string course a bit of a tap, and there's actually quite a bit of vibration in it. You've got one piece here, which is one individual piece, and then here as well, this kind of vibrates on top of that. That feels solid there, but when you come over to here, yeah, the whole thing is loose, and I can feel a crack on the underside as well. That's quite a bit of weight of stone just hanging on there. Okay, on the east face now, we've got some more vegetation growing on this side, and there was a piece of vegetation here that I was digging out next to this Merlon jamstone. Let's get it more in picture there. So that's the Merlon next to the turret. And in my investigations here, I found that we have movement on this. It's actually pushing the capstone up. So all of this is definitively loose. I've removed the plant and put some mortar in here. I've also pointed up where the plant was here. Obviously there's more plant there that I can't reach from the outside edge. I've repointed it recessed because I feel like the whole area, this stone and possibly some of the core, needs to be rebedded just to firm it all up, especially given this is the access to the turret. So people are kind of passing this area. Abseiling the east face on a level with the window head. Here's a closer look at the window head. These weathered out striations look fairly okay, solid. There's no movement. There's obviously a little flake there. The window head moulding looks like there's some problems. I'm more concerned about this crack here on the leg of the gargoyle. So it's only being held up by the body, which, as you can see, is limited in size. Something needs to be done there because the sandstone, all of the projecting sandstone details, like, you know, we found so many problems with the string courses, as previously mentioned. You wonder how strong the body of that gargoyle is. We've run out of mortar, so from this point up, I've done everything below. I have not done. Orion's worked his way down most of the left-hand side, but there's still bits and bobs that need attention, such as that and others. And the window here is like a classic case for shelter coating, where it's kind of powdering here and underneath the window. Across here, there, a little bit of blistering stain in front of me here, just here. Some more completed works on the east face, high up here, a wide joint there, over here, and a little bit more there, and a closer look at the gargoyle. Okay, so I've just done a tour de merlons and pinnacles, top of the tower, obviously. All of the merlons are, despite their ragged appearance and this sort of large crack running through the capstone on this one, they're all really solid. I've given them all a check and they ring to the tap. This pinnacle is solid. This pinnacle is solid. This pinnacle is solid, but there are these striations in the handstone, and that shard on the left, there's a little bit of movement in it, but there is some meat on the far side of it, which is kind of holding it on. I felt that probably that's an ideal candidate for repinning, pinning and mortar repairs. As you come out of the turret door and you turn left to go via the access stairway to the turret roof, there is this stone here which is loose. There is a cramp, but it's only held on the one side. Obviously there's some plants there which are starting to resprout for the summer. Looks like holly. They've obviously taken pains to try to kill it in the past, but looks like it's on its way back.
That one's in.
Okay, I'm in the top of the turret. These are my observations. This corner merlon here has got quite a bit of movement going on there. Obviously there's this cramp, but it's just flailing around. Lots of loose pointing. This corner is surprisingly good, apart from this capstone, which is completely loose. So I think I'm gonna lower that down to the tower top. And believe it or not, I've checked this one, this one, this one, and this one, and they've got a really good ring to them, despite their grotto-like appearance. Weeds growing here. Looks like we're still shedding water down through there, but yeah, a lot of plant growth. which isn't ideal. This pinnacle here does actually rock from quite far down, right at its base, in fact, where it meets the sandstone. So that's not ideal. This is the access way. They feel quite okay, actually. Okay.